Make each and every day count. Each day is a gift. It's easy to see that on a sunny, beautiful day like this one. It's not always easy on other days, but remember it because it's always true. Each day is a gift. Here's a nice gift to all of us because we all have questions now this time of year as the bugs come out, the critters, the pests, all of those sorts of things. And we have, as a service to you, our WJR family of listeners, an expert, simply known as Shep, affectionately known as Shep. Mark Sheperdigian is an urban entomologist who serves as Vice President of Technical Services for our friends at Rose Pest Solutions of Troy. Yes, he is one of the pros from Rose that I'm always insisting you give a call to. He's become well-known both locally and nationally within the pest management industry, a fine graduate of Michigan State University with a bachelor in entomology. And he's been working hard at Rose and doing a great job. And I'll never forget remembering talking to him, too, about the Rose Canine Division. Maybe he'll talk a little about that today as well. But here's the key. He's going to be with us this whole next hour taking your calls, your questions answered. And so I need you to load up the phone right now so we can have some calls for him. You recall our WJR call-in number, 800-859-0957. That's 800-859-0957. Also, 800-859-0WJR. Mark D. Sheperdigian. Shep, nice to have you back on the Paul W. Smith Show at WJR.
Well, thank you, Paul W. It's nice to be here.
And it's a busy time of the year now. All of us are noticing that the pests are back, so to speak, and we need some of the great tips that you have to keep our home safe. And with the urban pest management that you're a specialist in, some of the things that I think we'll get some calls on at 800-859-0957, 800-859-0WJR, are the cicadas that everyone's been talking about. We haven't seen yet. The Brood X, I think they're called. Did the unseasonably cold weather kill the bugs, or at least slow them down, Shep?
No, if all it was cold weather to slow them down or kill them, I'd probably be in a different profession. But they're doing just fine. It's Brood 10, actually. That's a Roman numeral.
Okay.
Brood 10, and
right.
that'll be an interesting thing to see how that works out here for Michigan. We have typically a couple of spots where they do show up, but because we are so close to the big population, when nurseries that ship out trees and shrubs, and it comes with a root ball, many times it has Brood 10 cicadas living in the roots. And so if you've got it won't be new landscaping, but if you have landscaping that came in from 17 years ago or shortly thereafter, you may see these things coming out.
There's nothing to worry about. They're just annoying, right?
That's correct. They don't hurt anything. They don't even hurt the trees. Now, I as soon as I say that, really young trees that have a heavy load on them, that can hurt because the females lay their eggs in the tender growing branches. Kind of prunes the big trees, and they do better for it. But small trees can be hurt. Doesn't happen all that often, but it is a possibility. They don't hurt us. They're really loud. So if you find that annoying, and you live in an area where they are, you may be annoyed for a few weeks.
There's not a lot you can do about that.
Oh, and why should you? I mean, it is a natural phenomenon. It's kind of like a blizzard, by golly. And when it snows, we don't figure out how to stop the snow. We just shovel it off the drive and move on.
Mark D. Sheperdigian. Shep, BCE, Vice President, Technical Services, Rose Pest Solutions, spring cleanup, cellophane bees, carpenter bees, ants. Boy, there's a lot going on. And they're hiring at Rose Pest Solutions. We'll talk more about that with Shep as well, coming up as we continue on the Paul W. Smith Show with your calls at 800-859-0957, 800-859-0WJR. They're back. He's back. The Rose Pest Solutions, time to call in and get your questions answered. And Shep is here. Well, Shep is there at Rose Pest Solutions. He is BCE, Vice President, Technical Services. And you'll tell me later what BCE is. I don't want to make the callers wait. Let's first up go to Tim in Temperance on the Paul W. Smith Show, Rose Pest Solutions Hour. Tim.
Good morning. Thank you for taking my call. I have naturally occurring brown recluse spiders in my shed, and I'm planning on replacing the shed this summer. A two-part question. Number one, are there any natural plantings that I could use in the area to discourage them from coming back? And number two, can pets be affected by their bite?
Wow, Tim. Where you live, actually?
Southern Monroe County.
Southern Monroe County. That would be pretty far north for naturally occurring brown recluse, but you never know what kind of things happen. We actually went on a brown recluse hunt a couple of years ago, and you can find them in Michigan, but they're usually very sparse and usually brought in from areas where they are endemic. However, if that's what you did have, a couple of things. Number one, if you go to some of the areas where brown recluse occur, it's not a matter of finding a house that has them. What's really hard is finding a house that doesn't. They're everywhere. They are absolutely ubiquitous throughout Oklahoma, Missouri, Arkansas, that kind of thing. And those people do just fine, which suggests we're going to do just fine, even if we did have brown recluse living in the garage. So my counsel would be, you could probably ignore it and nothing would ever change. I don't know of any plantings that would discourage them. They're pretty, where are they? Where they do live, they get along pretty well. So they do survive. Do understand though that they don't get the name recluse idly. They are reclusive, and you don't see them very much. If you wanna do something impressive, get a glue board, a glue trap, one of those little paper insect traps, like a roach motel, where they check in, but they don't. That's somebody else's.
Whatever. So, but they don't check out.
If you put that around the floor, up next to the wall, and you have brown recluse, you will catch males and young in large numbers, and that would be a real good test for you, and a great check.
Well, I would assume, Tim, you want to get rid of them. That's why you're calling and asking.
Well, exactly. I've had them since the shed was built, so I assume they came in when the shed was built, and that was in the 1970s.
Wow. Well, as long as it's tough to wrap my head around that they could survive this far north. Once they're in the house, and they do live in houses everywhere, they can make it through the winter pretty well. Making it through the winter is the shed unheated?
It is unheated, but again, my house that I live in, my parents had built in 1964, so it's not terribly tight, and there's been settling and stuff over the years.
There is one thing, and that is the possibility that maybe it's a related spider and not actually a brown recluse. Sometimes they can be difficult to determine. However, on the chance that that's what it really is, the best way to deal with them, if you wanted to get rid of them, would be to put out sticky traps so you know where they are, and you can confirm the ID. And generally, insecticides that are labeled, and always read and follow the label, for spiders and use in garages and sheds should do pretty well.
Good luck, Tim. Thanks for the call. Let's go to Bridget in Canton on WJR. Bridget.
Oh, good morning. And my question is in regard to the plantings of new trees. We have moved into an area that is all newly developed. Consequently, when the landscapers came in, they eliminated all mature growth from the property. And then they ended up with new plantings. And those new plantings are baled, and they're also wired. They dug a hole, they put it in, they never released any of the wiring, they never released any of the burlap that it came in. Consequently, within a year, the tree died. Took us another year to the development to replant new plantings. Same situation. Also, the idea of putting mulch. How high should a mulch covering be for new plantings?
Wow.
Bridget, Shep is an amazing character, but his expertise happens to be in urban pest management. So I thought you were going somewhere with, maybe you thought there were some bugs in there killing the shrubs and the trees.
Well, if there are, they kill them very readily, because this is the third planting we've had in 6 years. And from
it sounds like you need to speak with an arborist, somebody who's as dedicated to trees as I am to bugs. And so I am so sorry to be not of much help, but yeah, we're pretty focused on pests.
Thank you, Bridget. Good luck to you. It's our fabulous Rose Pest Solution Hour with Mark D. Sheperdigian, BCE Vice President, Technical Services. He's known nationwide as Shep, and he is very, very helpful. You can get some help right now direct at 800-859-0957. 800-859-0957. It works out to 800-859-WJR. Tony in Wyandotte, it's your turn, Tony.
Good morning.
Hi.
Hi. I have carpenter bees. Every year they start showing up. Not a lot, but, the ones that are there, they're huge. They don't bother me, but what's the best line of defense from those? Because I have a large
Shep,
deck.
How do you know it's a carpenter bee? Do they have like little work belts on or what? I'm not sure how you can tell.
That's what they've got. Actually, they look for all the world like bumblebees, but they hang around the eaves of your house or around the deck, and they're drilling holes in the wood. And bumblebees don't do that. So if you see a great big fuzzy yellow bee drilling holes in the wood, that's probably a carpenter bee. They're active early, too, so this is their time. And the couple of things to note about them, the males are very territorial, so if there's one flying around and it looks like it's trying to bother you, it's a male, and they don't sting, so they're not to worry about. While the females do sting, or capable of it, they don't. So there's virtually no concern about that. But drilling the holes in the wood's a problem. What do you do? Couple of things. Anything that you use that is labeled, any insecticide that's labeled for exterior treatment, and you can put that right in the holes they're drilling, and that'll end that. Painted and freshly painted wood doesn't get attacked. Although sometimes you don't want to paint stuff, you want to stain it. So sometimes it's a matter of going out and just treating those areas in the spring while they're making their first galleries.
Oh, okay.
Is there a product? This is something obviously Rose Pest Solutions can help with, but if she's got a small problem and wants to treat it herself, do you have any recommendations?
Actually, yeah. The materials we use are certainly the kind of the commercial products that the professionals use. You can find things at the hardware store, and I wouldn't endorse one over the other.
Okay.
What you do though is read the labels for one that has carpenter bees on it. It'll say for carpenter bees or those kinds of things, stinging insects, and is labeled for outside. Get something that's either a powder or a sprayable. No, you don't want one of those high power wasp jet things. That's a little more than you're going to need, and it won't do the job as well.
All right, Tony from Wyandotte, thank you much. Good luck with the carpenter bees. Roy in Dearborn on WJR with Shep from Rose.
Yeah, I just wanted to answer your question. I have a little 6-pound dog, and I bought the spray that's kids and pets safe, and on it says peppermint oil and cinnamon oil. And does that actually work?
It actually probably it smells really good.
Well, it smells, that's for sure. I don't know if it smells really good. When you see those, and geraniol and clove oil and some other things, these are what we call essential oils. And there are a number of them that are on a list that the EPA says is generally regarded as safe. And that's why you get a lot of the.
They work.
They work on some things, but not on others, and that's the thing to keep in mind. Depends on what you're trying to do with them. If you're looking to apply them and have them be killing stuff for a while, generally what you hit is going to be your best shot at it.
Yeah, I mean,
you get it on them, it'll work.
I just thought, if I'm having company, a couple people over, I'm going to spray my yard with this, and it'll dampen it down that day.
I don't know. It depends on what the pests you're after are.
Like mosquitoes and flies, basically.
Sure. Well, whatever is in the yard when you spray it will probably be pretty upset at the results. But after that, shouldn't be there won't be too much. With mosquitoes, if you're looking to have people over, there are barrier treatments, and you can get we do those professionally done, treating the vegetation around. That gets some really good results on mosquitoes. If you don't have a lot of vegetation and the mosquitoes are coming in from all over, there are some things you can do. One thing about mosquitoes is not all mosquitoes are the same. There are day biters and evening biters and night biters. So if you're going to have an afternoon party, go out in the afternoon and see if the mosquitoes actually out there.
Right.
If not, don't even worry about it.
Well, the other thing is that I don't have any garden. It's just some shrubs and flowers, basically it.
Sure.
Okay. All right.
And that's where you would want to aim that. Mosquitoes like it. They like it out of the wind, dark and damp, and that's where they're hanging out.
Born in Holly. Welcome to WJR.
Good morning, guys.
Hi.
My question's a little opposite to what most of them are, I think. I raise bees, and each spring I open up my hives, and the bees have died. I just wondered if you have any insight as to how I can protect them and help them through the winter. They usually have plenty of food and water and whatnot, but I don't know if it's temperatures, getting wet, whatever the case may be.
Good question, Lauren, because I know Shep and the team at Rose always work hard to protect bees when they're out doing treatments. But what about this kind of question, Shep?
Well, that is a great question, and yes, we do support bees and pollinators. We love honeybees. Now, getting them through the winter can be challenging. The Canadians keep them inside. I would actually refer you to beekeepers associations. I don't know if you belong to any of the local ones. There are Michigan beekeeper associations, and they could probably give you better advice than I could. I would do the same things that you said. Make sure they've got plenty of honey because that's how they keep their heat up through the winter, and that the colony is strong. There are other parasites and things that keep them down. But I'm guessing you probably have already done a lot of that. You might check with some of the locals and see if they're having the same issues.
Good luck to you, Lauren, on that one.
Will do.
Margaret in Waterford on the Paul W. Smith Show, WJR, and Shep here from Rose Pest Solutions. Margaret?
Yes. Shep, we've got a mouse problem. We need to find the entrance where they're coming in. Can you help me with that?
Oh, boy.
Quite possibly, although the best way to find the entrance is a close inspection around the house, and I'm not there, so that's going to make that tough. One thing, if you've been seeing a lot of these, it's quite possible that they're not coming in anymore, but they actually live there, and that's once mice get in, if they can find a place to make a nest and reproduce, that's what they do. So you get a little family living there, and then you start to see a bunch of them. Mice are interesting. The best way it has been always to put out traps and to trap them. Some people don't quite have the stomach for that, and they don't really want to do that, which is why it's always good to call a professional, and they can come deal with that. If you're going to do it on your own, it takes a lot of patience. As far as sealing up all the holes so they don't come in, that's very difficult. Mice can get in through any opening that allows them to fit their skull through it. If you can get your head through the hole, you can get the rest of you through it. And that's kind of how the mice work. Rats are a little easier to exclude from buildings, but mice can be difficult.
Very tough, Margaret. Call the pros from Rose, 800-966-ROSE, 800-966-ROSE, or go online to rosepestsolutions.com. This is not a do-it-yourself kind of a problem with mice. Doug is in Milford on WJR. Doug.
Yes, good morning. Sorry
Hi.
for the noise here. I have a question more on ants in my lawn.
Ants in the loft are these big black ants, Doug?
No, they're actually small ants.
Oh, my.
Small, very small. And every year it seems to get a little worse, and they can be maybe a 1 foot diameter, or they can be as large as 4 foot in diameter. And every year I get more and more.
Wow, in the loft.
In the lawn.
In the lawn?
In the lawn. Well, actually,
wait a minute. Wait. Did you say 1 foot in diameter up to 4 feet in diameter? Is this like a horror film or what?
No, not the ants.
Yeah, the
Each
ants
ant is not a foot in diameter.
No.
That's what I heard.
I'm sorry about that.
That's all right.
No, it's just the diameter of the lawn they seem to be killing, and every year it gets to be larger.
Yeah, there's a couple of things. The first thing you really got to know about ants is what ant is it? Now, while they do, there are a number of do-it-yourself products that you can use to kill ants outside. Sometimes that's really difficult. The best way to take care of ants are baits, and with baits, you got to know what it is they're eating. You'll find lots of baits on the market. Sometimes the best way is to get a bunch of them and offer them and see what they like. You can do that yourself by taking a little card and putting a little honey and a little peanut butter on there and see if they'll eat either of those. One is protein, one is sweets, and that'll help you decide what these ants are really up for. That'll help you decide what baits might work best. Other than that, it can be difficult taking care of ants in the lawn.
All right. Good luck, Doug. Let's get to Catherine in Shelby Township. Catherine, welcome.
Good morning.
Hi.
Good morning, Catherine.
We're running out of time. Want to get you in here.
Okay, I've got bats in the gable of the house.
Yeah, bats. This would be the time to get them out before there are babies. Once they start raising young, you gotta leave them alone until the young fledge. So best thing to do is do that now. That may be one best left to professionals, but if you wanted to do it yourself, you gotta sit outside and watch and see where the bats are coming out, and then wait till they're out and then seal them out then. If they have babies and you've sealed them out, they really are determined to get back in, and it is very difficult to keep them out. That's why you got to go early.
I think you leave it to the professionals, Catherine. Honestly, that sounds like a messy proposition.
We know
it'll be more effective.
We know where they are. They're in the gable vents. We can see them.
Well, then wait till they're gone and put screen on the outside. If they're on the gable vents and they're not getting in, that's a good thing. But you certainly wouldn't. You don't want them hanging out there all summer.
Good luck to you, Catherine. Let's go quickly to our last caller, Bob in West Bloomfield on WJR. Bob?
Yes, I'm calling because of stink bugs, and we were told to cut down the pine trees around the house, but they still seem to be in the chimney, and it doesn't seem like there's any kind of repellent to keep them away. You turn the fireplace on, and they come out.
Stink bugs. Okay. These aren't just any stink bugs. These are brown marmorated stink bugs. I'm guessing. I haven't seen them, but those are they're all over the place these days. And while they're agricultural pests, they do come to overwinter in our houses. One of the things about them is this is the time when they're all waking up and going outside. So there's really, sorry, man, nothing you can do right now that's going to make much of a difference. But wait. So what you do is before they come in next year, is you got to seal up the cracks and crevices they're coming in for. It's not about the trees. They can fly quite a ways, and they're actually agricultural pests. So they or of other plants that they find around. So there's a lot of them there, but you just gotta seal them out.
Bob, thank you. Good luck to you in West Bloomfield. Thanks to all of our callers and all of our listeners, and special thanks to Mark D. Sheperdigian, Shep. And what does BCE stand for?
Well, it's board certified entomologist, but many people say no, it's bug control expert.
Well, I like both, and you are both. Vice President Technical Services. He's one of the pros from Rose at 800-966-ROSE, 800-966-ROSE, or rosepestsolutions.com.